Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. As much as I think that Zelensky is not good for Ukraine, I feel pity for him at times. And one of the times when I feel pity is right now. I think he is not sleeping nights. I think he's very afraid, very scared. He's not courageous from the start, from the get-go. How do I know that? Because I remember the former Israeli Prime Minister Bennett when he went to Moscow and begged Putin not to kill Zelensky. And when Putin said, "I'm not going to kill Zelensky," and then Bennett called Zelensky from the Tamarack in Moscow on the airport, called Zelensky, who was in the bunker. It was right the first 2 days in February 2022. He said, "Well, he's not going to kill you. He's not going to. Are you sure? Are you sure he's not going to kill you?" He said, "Are you sure?" 2 times he asked. And then after he hung up, Zelensky showed up in front of the cameras. "We're not afraid." You wore diapers then, and I think you started wearing adult diapers now again. What happens? He's afraid of a new Maidan. So he's afraid that he's going to be overthrown. So what is he doing? He's claiming it's the Russians who will organize it. Like the other guys organized the first one, not the first one, the one in 2014, to be more specific. Yeah, maybe they're the Russians, but you remember you start these kind of things when you got things set in your country. How many in your country? In Ukraine? How many people were arrested by the secret police in Ukraine for being collaborators? Do you know? So these guys took care of many people in the name of collaborating with Russia. So I think he's okay, but he became paranoid, and this according to Bloomberg. But I will use Russia today for this video. This is from November 17th, 2023. Zelensky fears a new quote-unquote Maidan, Bloomberg reports. The Ukrainian president, because he's Ukrainian, has reportedly claimed there may be Moscow-inspired mass protests in Kiev. So remember, when those people will start protesting, this guy will put the secret police to shoot at them. That's what he's going to do. And he's going to claim those are Russians and collaborators. Be careful. He's going to do that. You don't think that's going to happen? Time will tell. If that happens, I guarantee you this guy's going to come and say, those are Russian collaborators, we need to take care of them and back off. Ukrainian President Zelensky told journalists on Thursday that he has received tips about a Russian influence campaign aimed at destabilizing his government, according to a Bloomberg report. Of course, they will try to do that, but the problem is this. The Russians, do you think they are so idiots? And if you get out, who will be in your place? Someone of the guys that the Russians will put over there? You got the secret services on your side. The security services, the secret police are on your side. You got, what are you talking about? But we'll see. We'll see. So it says that he claimed that various intelligence agencies had informed him about the purported operation. So imagine how this guy sleeps now. Ukraine's top leadership has experienced divisions in recent months, with a series of publications in the Western press based on leaks from Kiev staffers describing Zelensky as calcified in pursuing an unrealistic goal of pushing Russia out of all territories claimed by Kiev. His office has also publicly clashed with one of the country's top generals, Valery Zaluzny, who said earlier this month that the hostilities had reached a stalemate and that he expected no breakthrough for Kiev. Bloomberg reported on Friday that Zelensky claims to have received information from Ukrainian and allied intelligence services warning him about, and I'm quoting, a disinformation plan known internally as Maidan 3, meant to play on fractures in civil society and foment insurrection. You got that right, but who are you going to put? You need to have someone ready. There's going to be probably Zaluzny who's going to intervene and take over. Maidan means square in Ukrainian. Maidan 1 and 2 are the terms for the mass protests that took place in 2004, and I was talking about the 2014, respectively. primarily in Kiev's Independence Square. Both were directed against Viktor Yanukovych, the former president whose political support base was in what was then the majority Russian-speaking eastern portion of the country, but which joined Russia in a series of referendums in 2022. The 2004 protest was mostly peaceful and successfully overturned Yanukovych's victory in the year's presidential race. On the other hand, the 2014 demonstration occurred while Yanukovych was in office, forcing him to flee the country and resign from his post as armed rioters targeted his home. The violent uprising in 2014, Maidan 2, was backed by the West and empowered nationalist forces in the country. Moscow has described the policies of the successive government in post-coup Kiev as discriminatory against ethnic Russians and detrimental to Russia's national security. So Zelensky was elected on a promise of reconciliation with Donbas rebels, but caved into the pressure of pro-Maidan nationalists who threatened him with mass protests. Now he believes Russia is seeking to provoke chaos and division in his country, in the Mediterranean area, and topple his government. Bloomberg quoted him as saying, and I'm quoting, "Maidan is coup for them, Moscow." So the operation is understandable. Earlier this month, the profile of the Ukrainian president in Time magazine cited his close aides as complaining about his unwavering pursuit of a military victory over Moscow, which the report called verging on the messianic. On the source, blah blah blah, called Zelensky delusional. General Zaluzny outlined his vision for... So Zaluzny is going to probably take over. Now, put that together with this article right here. From Ukrinform, SBU chief reports to Ukraine's president on fight against collaborators. So this guy is his man for a while until he receives a different order, and then he's going to decapitate this guy. Chief of the Security Services of Ukraine has reported to President Volodymyr Zelensky on the fight against collaborators and those who deliberately incite hatred in the country. So based on this kind of claims, they will do whatever they want to do. And that's going to happen. So I think Zelensky doesn't have a good night's sleep lately, and he shouldn't. He shouldn't. That's a lot of things that happen because of him, and they're not good. Some of them good, some of them bad, but I think overall, the war that's over there, unprovoked, he has something to answer about. Will it happen? Not impossible. Not impossible. Will the Russians organize it? Possible. Probable. But I don't really think that would happen, because otherwise, they would have done this before, but they didn't. How come they do it now, when these guys are with ears like this, with eyes like this, and with itchy finger on the right? It's hard. And believe me, the Ukrainians who decide to show up in Maidan, they know that when they show up, they will be mowed down. I am 98% certain that would happen. Zelensky would not say, you know what, if you don't like me, or if you don't want me, I want you. Basically, that's what he is. But he's not going to just, you know what, you don't like me anymore, I'm going to go to Israel. Or I'm going to go to London. First, London, maybe to Israel. Now there's problems over there, probably he's going to avoid Israel. He's going to go London or United States. These are the... Okay? So, yeah, Zelensky, your time is up. I'm not certain if he's not following orders anymore from the Americans. They don't tell him cut the crap, but it's still profitable for the U.S. military-industrial complex to have that war going, because they make a lot of money, profits. So I think the gold mine is not empty yet. It still has some gold in it to dig. When that's going to be empty and you can't find gold in the gold mine, then they will say, Zelensky, cut the crap, time out. And we'll see when Zelensky reacts. He's going to say, me? You don't tell me what to do. And then he's going to be out. By his own people around him, by that guy who sits over there, beautifully next to him, right there. This is the guy, or the guys in the secret services surrounding him, defending him, protecting him. Those guys will take care of him, bring him up, take him to wherever. Or maybe just on the spot. It depends how how the order sounds. Oh, you mean right now? Yeah, okay. You'll see. I hope we don't see that, but it's not. I think justice should prevail, like it prevailed. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.